What is up, my people, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey, where today your daily Cowboys content will revolve around what John Machota did on The Athletic. The great John Machine Gun, the Machete Machota. And he did a survey of Cowboy fans, 25 different questions. And I have the fan responses. Do I have a little bit of pizza on me? What is that? Oh, no, it's just a weird way my shirt's sitting. So I want to go over some of the responses. If you want all of them, well, then you would subscribe to The Athletic and you would read Machota's thing. But I'll tell you what the fans said for a few of the questions about the Dallas Cowboys, and then I will give you my answer for some of these different dealy boppers. Question number 1. If you could get a contract done with one player before the season starts, who would it be? Cowboy fans went Michael Gallup and then Randy Gregory. I will flip that. I would go Randy Gregory and then Michael Gallup. And here is my reason. Pass rushers are harder to find than wide receivers. And you have to think about what is the market for those guys. Because I guess in theory you could just say, no, I'm just saying who do you want to sign, but I factor in everything. For Randy Gregory, he's got 10.5 career sacks. And he's been in the league for over a half decade. So maybe you could get a sweetheart deal. The Cowboys' depth on the edge is, you can take your choice here, either not good or unproven. And so for like Randy Gregory, there's nothing blocking him from playing a ton of snaps this year. His pressure rates last year were good. I think he's primed for the breakout year, and you only have one real proven edge player in Tank Lawrence, and then Randy Gregory would be your next proven, and all of the guys you're hoping for behind that are either just, jobber is a mean word, but okay journeyman signings and then rookies and or second year. So you don't have a ton there. At wide receiver, I can find a guy easier than I can find a guy to be a starting level edge in the NFL. And with Michael Gallup, even though Dak seems to be his best friend, I think it'd be hard to get a sweetheart deal from a guy who's already had a 1,000-yard season. His market value could be somewhere around $12 to $15 million a year. With Gregory, maybe you could just be like, hey, what do you think? Here's a 3-year, $24 million deal. What do you think, Randy? And maybe he'd sign it because he hasn't proven anything in the NFL to this point. Now, the reason he hasn't is because of their archaic beliefs on mental health and marijuana testing, but we're beyond that. And I also think he's in a better place. So for me, it'd be Randy Gregory, then Michael Gallup. Fans went Gallup, then Gregory. Cowboys MVP, not named Dak Prescott. Now, I believe there are 1, 2, 4 names that you could consider. I accidentally rebooted the computer, so let me get it pulled back up. But I believe the fans went Ezekiel Elliott. Now, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I am absolutely not going to pick Ezekiel Elliott as the Cowboys MVP outside of Dak Prescott, and it's not even his fault. He just happens to play running back. Running backs can't be MVPs. Not even Derrick Henry. Check Derrick Henry's stats when Mariota was the quarterback, and then what happened when he got a good quarterback. Whoa, he got better because the running back is reliant on the things around him. Now, if Zeke can become a guy who, like, there's ways to measure running back play that are independent of your blocking and your quarterback play, and in those ways of measuring running back play, over the last 2 or 3 years, Zeke has not been good. If he can get back to being that guy that is a good yards after contact, is good at making guys miss, then that's great. It still wouldn't make him the non-quarterback MVP. So I will put forward these candidates: Amari Cooper, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tank Lawrence. Those are the names I would consider the Cowboys MVP, not named Dak Prescott. Tank, because he's the only great player on your defense. And I know I'm going to hear about that one. He doesn't get enough sacks. He's a great player. Tank Lawrence, when he's on the field versus off the field, your defense either has a chance to be okay or they're dumpster fire. It all depends if Tank Lawrence is on the field. And then Tyron Smith, I guess in theory, you could survive one offensive lineman being out. It depends how you want to handle it, whether that's Ty and Secchi or whether you want to get wild and have Zach Martin play tackle. Amari Cooper, pre-Amari Cooper trade, when they didn't have a good receiving core, it was ugly. They traded for Amari Cooper, and that changed. So the real-life number one receiver is big time. I'm on the CeeDee Lamb bandwagon. I think he's going to be a superstar. But going into this season, Amari Cooper's your most important receiver because he slots everyone else. Amari Cooper draws cornerback number one. Amari Cooper plays outside. That allows CeeDee Lamb to get favorable matchups in the slot. It allows Michael Gallup to get favorable matchups with a lesser corner. Wow, excuse me. So I think Amari Cooper is a really good case for Cowboys MVP not named Dak Prescott. And then Zach Martin, only because Zach Martin can save you in a variety of ways. He's maybe the best guard in football who stepped out to tackle when you got desperate and played it at a Pro Bowl level while banged up. So Zach Martin, just his ability to do so many different things. He has a legitimate claim for Cowboys MVP not named Dak Prescott. But because there's only one defensive player on the list, am I going to say Tank Lawrence? I'm going to say Tank Lawrence. Is that true? Yeah, because he's the only guy on that defensive line that is a proven kick-ass player. And on the offensive line, you have potentially three of them. In the receiver core, you have potentially multiples. Tank is flying solo. So I'll go Tank. Most important defensive tackle. Fans say Neville Gallimore. This is one of the first answers on the Dallas Cowboys survey on The Athletic that made me go, oh! And not because I'm hating on Neville Gallimore. I think that he came along last year and he was improving as the season went along and he could be a capable player this year. But if that's the best interior player that you have, the odds are you have a really bad interior. So, and like Tristan Hill was second in the vote. I will say the defensive tackle that's most important to the Cowboys this year is Brent Urban. Proven run stopper, probably not going to give you a lot as a pass rusher, but a guy that can actually compete at the line of scrimmage, give your linebackers a chance to make plays. I will go Brent Urban over Gallimore or Hill, and maybe Odighizuwa can become a factor as the season goes along. Maybe Quentin Bohanna, your 6th-round pick, can become a factor as the season goes along. But if Neville Gallimore is my best defensive tackle, my defensive tackle group is bad. It's bad. Who will start the most games opposite Trevon Diggs? The fans said Kelvin Joseph. Next most votes was Anthony Brown, then Jordan Lewis, then Nashawn Wright. I'm going to go Anthony Brown. I don't want to. It's just my gut feeling with the reports out of the OTAs, and I hope to be wrong on that. I hope we get to camp and Kelvin Joseph just shows his bottom. Not literally. I hope he keeps his pants on, at least out on the field. Kelvin Joseph or Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown is the boring answer, the veteran, where the coaches will be like, oh, he's not going to hurt us, although he will. But so will Jordan Lewis. So will Trevon Diggs sometimes. The survey is making me not optimistic about the Cowboys defense. I'll go with the fans. I'll say Kelvin Joseph starts the most games at the other cornerback spot. I'm still going to lean on what I saw from all these different players when I watched him in college, that I think Kelvin Joseph is the superior player to Nashawn Wright. I think it's really cool that Nashawn Wright is getting positive reviews. But I will say there's a chance Anthony Brown starts the season as a starting outside corner, but Kelvin Joseph takes that at some point and runs with it and starts the most games. Who will lead this team in takeaways? Fans voted for Trevon Diggs. I believe it's between Trevon Diggs, Donovan Wilson, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, DeMonte KZ. KZ had a 7-interception season in 2018. 2018 is a long time ago, and he's coming off an Achilles. So I'm not going to pick your free safety to lead you in takeaways. The reason I include Donovan Wilson, Micah Parsons, and Leighton Vander Esch is because of forced fumbles. Those happen. Like, I think Vander Esch, if he plays a lot of snaps, could get you 3 interceptions. And could he force 3 or 4 fumbles? Could Micah Parsons go force 5 fumbles and have a couple of picks? Could Donovan Wilson go have 4 picks and 3 forced fumbles? All of those things are possible. And Diggs, I think, is more likely to have 4 or 5 picks and probably not any forced fumbles. So I'm going to get wild. I'm going to go Donovan Wilson leads the team in takeaways this year. Who will lead the team in receiving yards is a question on The Athletic. Amari Cooper is a safe bet. Amari Cooper is your number one receiver. Amari Cooper will get the most targets, I think, but I think that could be close with CeeDee Lamb. And the wild card is Amari Cooper's ankle is still not necessarily ready to be full go, and he tends to have different things bother him throughout the year. So I'm going to do a coward's pick here. I'm going to pick CeeDee Lamb because I think I've got a good chance there if Amari Cooper misses a game or two, and I've got a chance even if he doesn't miss any games. So give me CeeDee Lamb to have the most receiving yards on the Dallas Cowboys this year. Myra left in the comments yesterday, youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh. Amari, Gallup, and CeeDee all go over 1,000 yards. Dak goes over 5,000. Zeke, 1,300. Defense is top 20. What's our record? 3,000-yard receivers, 1,300-yard back. Dak goes over 5,000. Well, I need to know his touchdown-to-interception ratio. Defense is top 20. Then I think your record is 12-5 or better. Peter. I like Peter and Taylor here. Peter said, JC, your football insight and football wisdom is really special. You rock, dude. My number one. I love you, too. I love you. And Taylor said, you do a great job at making even the dead of offseason seem interesting. Keep your head up. You're amazing. You guys are the ones that are going to make the offseason interesting. Because I go off of, do I get questions from you guys to be able to answer to find something to talk about? Got a little lucky today with the survey, but I appreciate feedback. That's where I get ideas for the content is from you guys. So remember, youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh. Leave in the comments of this video what you would like to hear about tomorrow, and I will try to take care of you. And redacted, somebody whose name is redacted. Do you think we're still light on the interior D-line? Not in numbers. And not in potential, but I do think you're light in the D-line in proven good NFL players. Like Neville Gallimore might be on his way. Tristan Hill might be on his way. I think Brent Urban is a proven run-stopping commodity. Carlos Watkins, Quentin Bohanna, limited player. Odigizua, I have high hopes for. Chauncey Golston, if he lines up inside, I'm a believer in him as a player too. But you are definitely not on the level of, pick anybody else in the NFC East, really. And look at what they run out there with their two starters, and you're like, oh, really good player, really good player. With the Cowboys, you're more like, oh, hope they can turn into good players. So that'll do it for today. I appreciate you guys swinging through. Check 1053thefan.com every day. Check me out at youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh. Hit the subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Don't miss a video. Leave in the comments what you want to hear about tomorrow. Today I want to know who's your favorite musician of all time. Mine might be Andre 3000. It might be Robert Earl Keen. It might be Roger Krieger. It might be... I'm not picking. But tell me yours. I want to know. And remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody, and I love you. Bye.